How do you keep up with all this content? Well, you have a routine similar to the gym. Yeah, whether you like it or not, content is here. You could easily pull 5 to 10 really good moments. One of the things that I love and I believe that everyone should do is...
What's up, everyone? Welcome to this video. If you're a music artist, you're gonna get some free game. We talk about things that you could be concerned about with AI. Also, even if you're not a music artist, I'm preaching the word of creating content, promoting yourself, your personal brand, and what you do, your interest, and how to go about doing it. So I was on a panel discussion talking about the music industry, content, AI, how to use it as your friend, and things to be worried about or concerned about. I learned some crazy shit with AI, so I hope you guys get some value in this video. Welcome to the video.
And last but not least, let's bring up to the stage Cracka. Amazing content creator. I met him on another panel earlier this year that we were both on.
We met, yeah, I see that.
Recovering musician.
Good as always.
But also owns a music studio in Lansing, a production studio, but he is a content creator, a strategist in this area. And when I heard him speak about how artists need to start thinking about how they produce content and all things in this space, I was like, I have to have him here in Grand Rapids, for this event. What does being a music creator or an innovator even look like in 2025? Because things are very different, than they were 10, 15 years ago when a lot of us, frankly, were just getting started. What do you think it takes now to really work in this space?
The advice that I give artists is you are a content creator first, whatever you think you do second. So this applies to even if somebody's a barber. How would you promote your service of cutting hair in 2025? The easiest, most effective way to do it would be social media. So yeah, whether you like it or not, content is here. It's not like coming or coming soon. It's like been here, and yeah, adapting to creating content first. And then thinking of content as you're making the music also. Okay, I have this song. When I listen to this song, what do I visualize? Do I picture happy times? Do I picture daytime, nighttime? Where would I listen to this song? How would I listen to this song? And then thinking of the content, it would be showing you performing the song or demonstrating how people should enjoy the music through your content. So coming up with those ideas while you're creating the music is very important.
Okay, so now let's talk about the 800-pound gorilla in the room of AI and its involvement in the actual creative process for music. I'm specifically posing this question to you, Crack. How are you all actually using any of this, or if you do, or if you are working with any artists who are employing AI into actually creating music right now?
Real quick, if you didn't know, I offer a very limited amount of one-on-one calls. Whether you're feeling stuck or you just want personal help, go to crackhousestudios.com/call. Talk to you soon. Back to the video.
I've seen some artists that come to the studio where they're getting a lot of ideas from, I don't know the name of the thing, but it's a certain website where you can go to and you can say it was a female artist and somebody that she knew passed away in a car accident. They were a fan of country music, but they liked rap. And so she had AI create a song, and she told all this context of how they grew up, different memories they had AI create this song, and then she brought that to the studio and then had the producer remake a custom beat, but he had that AI song as the initial inspiration or as the reference track. So she ended up getting a custom original song, but it was influenced from the sauce of AI. So I would say that would be one way that I've seen. A lot of it comes down to the context you give though. So when I first heard about AI and I went to go use it, I probably used it just like everyone else. Give me content ideas to make videos about. It had no context about who I am, what I do, my offer, anything. And I'm like, oh, this stuff sucks. It ain't going anywhere. Now, bro, so the feature that I use is you can go to ChatGPT and then you can hit the little microphone. And I like to kill as many birds with one stone as I possibly can. And so I'm gonna go for a walk and then I'm gonna have a long brain dump chat with ChatGPT. For me, I treat it like a personal assistant where I'll be like, okay, I'm stuck. I'm working right now. I have all these different ideas. Okay, I'm gonna go for an hour walk. And then I'll sit and say, when I get back, I got about 2.5 hours, so I got to pick my daughter up. Here's a list of the different ideas of things that I could do. This one would take me about 45 minutes. This one would take about an hour and a half. This one, there's a customer that's interested, and this would be, $2,500. And then this one, I've already been paid for, and it's not due for 5 days, but I have as much context as you possibly can. Imagine if you were asking a real person to solve your problem, the more context they have, the better. So yeah, provide it with a bunch of context, and I kind of went all over the place. But hopefully that was a ChatGPT crash course for somebody in here, and somebody's gonna leave tonight and be like, man, there's a guy that went on a long tangent and he taught me how to use ChatGPT though. And it solved some other problems. So.
Crack, this next question is for you. So I know just based on what I've heard from you when I met you before and been following you, you definitely have a great handle on strategy for content. But what income streams do you think that, you know, artists can start to think about in terms of monetization, and how should they approach that?
That's a good ass question. I like to look at the personal brand as a tree. You know, trees have different branches. Each branch is a different revenue stream. So in a perfect world, you would monetize anything and everything you do. Like, I'm wearing a hat. Ideally, I'm creating content right now. This would be my brand of hat, and I sell this. And there's a small group of people in my audience that care enough about me where they would want to show support and they would buy my hat. I'm wearing shoes. I have cologne on. I eat food. Maybe I could have a restaurant. That's how I think in terms of it's the personal brand, and then find your interest, which are typically things that you're already doing. So I like to lift weights. One of my goals in the future is to come out with a pre-workout supplement. Why? Because I've taken pre-workout supplements on and off for 10 plus years. It's monetizing the personal brand. The personal brand is, Cracka is my brand name. That's my brand. Well, with Cracka, I have a clothing line, a podcast, a studio, different things that I monetize. So yeah, just monetizing your personal brand. Have all of your different interests out there. I think one of the smartest things to do, somebody up here mentioned, Chris, good looking guy over there, mentioned authenticity. One of the things that I love and I believe that everyone should do is have a podcast. I think that's the easiest way, one, to be able to create a F-load of content in the least amount of time is just sit down, have a conversation with somebody that you're probably already having conversations with every week about topics that you care to talk about. And then somebody in your audience is gonna be like, man, I sat and watched the hour-and-a-half podcast of yours. I didn't know that you were into this or this or this. And so I believe that the more that you share, the more opportunities that you give for people to care. And then how do you keep up with all this content? Well, you have a routine similar to the gym. You know, if somebody's trying to lose weight or build muscle, it's gonna be, you subscribe to a routine. Okay, this is your regimen that you're on. Same thing with content. With the podcasting, it could be every Thursday, I'm gonna cut my hair, hang out with my friend, do a podcast, and then right after, I'm gonna do a YouTube video, and then I'm gonna think of my short form content. And so in a day, I got all my content for weeks, and I can show up on social media 3 to 4 times a day, from 1 day a week of filming content and 1 day a week of editing content. That's how I build my product ecosystem around myself, and that would be what I recommend for other people as well.
This is a follow-up question. I'm mostly saying it because as an artist myself, but also kind of an introvert, and I know a lot of musicians who are. I know there are many of you who are in the audience, like, who really don't want to do a lot of this stuff. What advice could you give to the artists who are incredible at creating art? You know, whether it's music or dance, or what can you tell them to maybe inspire to get them out of the shell? Because I know how difficult that is. It took me a really long time to be able to figure that out. So what words of wisdom maybe could you share?
I would say hire a videographer and then have them document you in a safe space. So for me, it was always the studio. Like, if this was a bar setting, I don't feel very cool. I'm also very introverted. If it's a club, I don't feel very cool. But you put me in a studio, now I feel incredible there. I'm very comfortable. So then when I was saying about a videographer, when you sit in front of a camera and you talk to it, it's very awkward. But if you get a videographer and you get some of these bad boys like the wireless mics, you're being captured in your raw essence. So like, it would just be you in the studio, which is somewhere where you're comfortable, with people that you're comfortable with right there. And then you just tell the videographer, be a fly on the wall. Don't tell me 3, 2, 1, go. That's a lot of pressure. And then also when you're looking right at the camera, that's a lot of pressure. So I love the raw vlog style, documenting you in your zone of genius, off guard. You forget. And then you're like, oh shit, he's moved around over there. There's a videographer here. Oh, I'm wearing a mic. This is cool. And then you see the footage and you're like, damn, I actually do sound smart when I talk. I do have good personality, you know? So I love when the wireless mics came out, because I'm doing content for over a decade. And before the wireless mics, I had the mic that goes on top of the camera. So you had to kind of like project your voice, you know, from here to here from the camera. Now you got to like announce it like you're the YouTuber. Hey, what's up, everyone? Welcome to the video. And that's so not natural. But with the wireless, I mean, you can talk just like this and it's picking it up perfectly fine. So you get to just be more natural, be more yourself. And then again, to get leverage, when you go to the studio, you go there for hours. Those hours of footage of you documenting in the studio, I mean, you could easily pull 5 to 10 really good moments that are like, it might be a conversation with you and the producer, you and the engineer, you and your friend that's in the studio. It might be a certain moment where the song kicked on and then it caught you, you know, just in your element. But yeah, that's what I would do, is just those few hours in the studio could turn into 5 to 10 pieces of content. And then you look up and you're like, damn, I am keeping up with all these millennials and I'm on social media, multi-platform every day. And how am I doing it? I'm creating systems.
All right, so this is kind of open-ended for everyone. I really want to revisit the conversation on authenticity. The very first thing that Crack said at the beginning of this presentation was that we should be focused on content, right? I feel like there is a line that comes up at some point where you're bumping up against that authenticity. I think authenticity is key, but how do you bump that up against like this whole everything is getting generated and everyone can just do stuff? There's a certain quality level I feel like you have to hit to get that demand. So what do you guys think about that?
I would run every piece of content through the filter of, does it make you feel something? From this panel discussion today, you know, I'm recording it, and for myself, I'm gonna post clips of where I sound intelligent or where I feel like I get free game. So am I gonna keep every single thing that I've said this entire time? No, I'm gonna replay it and think, did that make me feel something? Oh, did I get any type of reaction from a couple head nods? Okay, well, with the content, you're just taking a lot of like one to many. Where I brought up the podcast, it could be me and you in a room. We just sit down and get to know each other for an hour and a half. It's a lot easier to do. You can be authentic. We're gonna talk for an hour and a half, but we're taking that private one-to-one conversation and now we're gonna broadcast it. A lot of people forget the 3 letters before every single social media platform. So it's www, which is World Wide Web, www.facebook.com, Instagram.com, YouTube, TikTok, etc. So I think social media has changed my entire life. My wife, we met through social media. Everyone that works at my studio, friends to this day, there's people here in the back, shout out to the risk takers. We met through social media. So yeah, social media has changed my life.
Huge thank you to all of the panelists. Thank you all so much for coming down.